G'day everybody, welcome back to another tipping video on the channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing my tips for round 8 of the 2022 AFL season. If you're going to enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, that'd be much appreciated. And let's kick it off with my tips from last week. Righto everybody, my tips from round 7, and I managed to get a 5 out of 9. It just seemed that it was an inconsistent round of tips for pretty much everyone. There was a lot of tips incorrect here, and then the next game is correct and the other game incorrect. So yeah, we'll just quickly go over the tips now. Kicking off Richmond versus West Coast, pretty straightforward. I think we were all expecting a convincing win from Richmond, and they sure did that, whilst yeah, Eagles are truly in the mud. And also I tipped the Tigers by only 28 points and they managed to win by 109. So yeah, the margin comp, if I was doing one, would not be good at all. But yeah, it's a good win for the Tigers. They get their form back on track. Then I had Geelong versus Fremantle. I just felt like the home field advantage and the absence of Darcy Taberner for Fremantle would get the job done for Geelong. But no, Fremantle totally deserved to win that game. They dismantled, I guess you could say dismantled them, but they were very convincing in winning the game. They pretty much ran away with it. Geelong scoreboard kind of flattered them, I guess, because it really could have been a 3-goal win for Fremantle. They came back with a nice kick there from 𝗵𝐴𝐴𝐵𝐵 it was, and Freo hold on, and they are seriously now the real deal. They look to be truly a top 4 favourite, I feel. Premiership contenders, maybe, possibly, but I think Brisbane and Melbourne are the only two in my eyes. Then Adelaide versus the Giants. I decided to tip again Adelaide. I felt like they had another really strong performance in them, but they are an expected bottom 4 side, and a bad performance was expected, and there it was there. Giants ran over the top of them, and what a win it was for Leon Cameron. A very important one if he wants to keep his job at the Giants. Then the Demons versus Hawthorn. Of course, I did tip the Demons, and again, getting that one right. It just seems to be a guaranteed winning tip when you tip the Demons. But to Hawthorn's credit, geez, they really put up a fight. Obviously, the Demons were missing Sparrow, 𝐓𝐴𝐵𝐿𝐼, I think Petty as well, Luke Jackson. So it was always going to be a little bit more of an even playing field head-to-head wise. But Melbourne was going to be too strong, and they sure were. Then St Kilda versus Port Adelaide got the tip wrong. And I think a lot of people have said now after this game, if this game was at Marvel, we were expecting that St Kilda would dominate and win convincingly. But because of the hot, humid, wet conditions up there in Cairns, the Saints weren't able to get the chocolates, as Port Adelaide gets their second win of this season. And gee, that's a massive win. If they want to play finals football, that seriously could have been a season-defining win. And yeah, just a really scrappy game to watch. Honestly, one of the worst, most inaccurate games I think I've ever watched. And statistics-wise, it also was a very inaccurate and yeah, just unenjoyable game to watch. But hey, close game's a close game, and yeah, Port Adelaide, much-needed win. Then Carlton versus North Melbourne, straightforward. Did tip the Blues, and yeah, another good win from them. And yeah, they're looking like to be a strong finals contenders side. And Paddy Cripps again, another brilliant game. He's on track for a Brownlow medal, I reckon. Then Collingwood versus Gold Coast. Decided to back the Suns in, going for the risky tip. First 2 minutes, it looked like it was going to be a really good idea that I tipped the Suns, but yeah, eventually Collingwood did wake up and were pretty much in the lead for the rest of the game. They got a nice win over the Suns, playing, again, some good contested football. Then the Bulldogs versus Essendon, tipped the Doggies and got that one right. They won by 32 points, and yeah, Essendon just look real mudded at the moment. 1-6 they are now. I think it could be season over for them, whilst the Bulldogs, I'm still backing them in for finals, still have all those quality players on for show, and how they played in that game was similar to how they played last year, just very efficient, contested ball was they were very good at, as the Bulldogs pick up their 3rd win of the season. And the final game, the Swans versus the Lions. Lions putting on an absolute clinic, and I did tip them and got that one correct. And yeah, you could just see the gap between the proper premiership contender side to the verge top 4 side. Swans, I still think, are a year or 2 away from a true flag contender side, and the benchmark's been set for the Swans, I believe. They now know where to aim if they want to be a true flag favourite football side. And yeah, good win for the Lions there, and they are pretty much now the 2nd seed and top competitors to try and beat Melbourne. So 5 out of 9 for the tips in round 7. Again, pretty inconsistent. It was hard to judge a few games, and let's hope we can do better in round 8. Before getting into the tips for round 8, as per usual, we'll quickly go over the top 10 currently in my tipping competition. By the way, fellas, if you're yet to join, link is in the description down below. Make sure to join up if you wish. Free to join, and there is some cash up for grabs for the top finishers at the end of the season. But anyways, here's the top 10. 10th, we've got Go Blues 1012 with 61 points. 9th, Ben Platten with 62 points. 8th, 𝐼𝐿𝐴 𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐿 with 62 points. 7th, 𝐓𝐻𝐼𝐿𝐴 with 62 points. 6th, Jason's Raiders with 63 points. 5th, Richmond for Life with 64 points. 4th, 𝐴𝐻𝐿𝐴 Crows 123 with 64 points. 3rd, 𝐼𝐿𝐴 with 64 points. 2nd, Batrooney with 65 points. And first still, again he's been in first place for quite a while, 𝐼𝐻𝐼𝐪𝐵 with 68 points. Okay, it's that time of the week now for the tips for the brand new round of AFL football. Round 8 it is, and we kick it off with a Friday night beauty between Port Adelaide and the Western Bulldogs at Adelaide Oval. If this was last year, geez, it would be a proper good matchup, and of course this is the prelim final replay, might I say. And will the Bulldogs head there again and pick up a massive win? Could be on the cards, but both teams have a few question marks over them this season. I think Bulldogs, head-to-head wise, I'm still backing them in for a win here. But, gee, Port Adelaide, they've got 2 in a row now. You never know. Will they actually pick up something? I think I might go the safe option here with the Bulldogs. Last week, they put on an impressive display, starting to really, I think, finally get their season up and running a bit. As I said before, so many star players in that midfield, and they're just too good to be inconsistent in my eyes. And the Bulldogs will head to Adelaide and pick up a good win, and they will win by 22 points. Next game, we've got Fremantle hosting North Melbourne at Optus Stadium. Fremantle, of course, in some fine form, whilst North Melbourne, typical as per usual, they are struggling to get up and running. And for me, it's a no-brainer. Fremantle surely has to win this game. I'm feeling a bit of a blowout here. And yeah, I reckon Fremantle will win this game by 52 points. Now for the Saturday games, we've got Richmond taking on Collingwood, a classic rivalry there at the MCG. A 9th versus 8 battle, this one too, so it's a pretty difficult one to tip in my eyes. Richmond, massive win last week. Collingwood, important win last week too. And Collingwood seemed to do well enough against Gold Coast with the absence of Grundy, but I feel like over the next few weeks it's really going to bite them in the back with his absence of injury. And I know it's not a major factor in justifying a result with Ruckman being out, but I think Richmond are building onto something at the moment. I did tip them for finals, and I know it's a soft kill win over there in the West against West Coast, but I'm feeling confident about tipping the Tigers here. The likes of Shai Bolton, Jaden Short, and even the firepower on their forward line with Lynch and Rewald are playing some good football, and I'm pretty sure they do have Dusty returning, which just adds to the arsenal of players they have. And yeah, I'm going to be tipping the Tigers here, and I think it will be a good battle this game, and I believe Richmond will win by 14 points. Next game, and at the exact same time, we have a Sydney game at the SCG between the Sydney Swans and the Gold Coast Suns. Swans got taught a massive lesson last week of this is where you've got to be if you want to be a flag favourite, and it's a massive lesson learned for them, but in my eyes, I don't think it will affect their form too much. You know, they're still a good football side, and yeah, they just simply got outclassed. So, again, Gold Coast, they play good football against the Swans sometimes here and there, but I think you've got to back in the Swans here. They've got Logan McDonald and Paddy McCartan, I'm pretty sure, returning, so that just adds to the firepower. Whilst Gold Coast, yes, definitely a team not to write off. 𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐴 𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐴 have been great up forward, and with the Swans' defence being a bit iffy so far this year, conceding or leaking a number of goals, I back them to kick a few. But the Swans, yeah, they should get a comfortable win here and win by 23 points. Now the Giants taking on Geelong, another Monaco Oval game at 4:35 p.m. Another interesting game here because I think head-to-head wise, you're backing the Cats here. But the Giants, they always seem to find a way to make finals or sit in a fairly good position at the end of the year. And do I go the Giants here? I feel like they've got it in them to beat the Cats. I really do. Giants are one of the most inconsistent teams in the competition, and I know if I do tip them, Geelong will put on a clinic, whilst if I don't tip Geelong, I can really see the Giants winning this game. But I feel like I'll just go the Cats. Maybe I might change my tip last minute, but I think they'll be too strong for the Giants, I reckon. And again, Giants are a bit of an inconsistent side. So I think the Cats, they want a bit of revenge as well. They really think they should have done better last week to beat Fremantle at the Cattery. So yeah, they have a bit of fire in the bellies, I reckon. And yeah, they get the win in Canberra and win by 17 points. Now Essendon taking on Hawthorn at Marvel Stadium. Essendon's season just keeps on getting worse and worse. It's just a downward spiral at the moment. They need a bit of fight, need a bit of lift up. And against the Hawks, who are in quite good form, probably have to go with the Hawks here, to be honest. How they only managed to lose to the Demons by only 10 points is pretty impressive. And yeah, they played some really good competitive footy and have tremendous upside at the moment. And against a derailing Essendon, I guess you could say Hawks should win this football game, and they'll win it by 27 points. Now the Brisbane Lions taking on the West Coast Eagles. Yeah, I kind of saw the West Coast Eagles odds on Sportsbet be like $28, so there's your answer pretty much. Lions should get a convincing win here. The Eagles are truly mudded. And yeah, the Lions will win a big one here. And they'll win this game by over 12 goals. We'll call it 81 points. Now for the Sunday games, and we have Melbourne taking on St Kilda. Really interesting matchup here because Saints, they're yet to verse probably that top 4, top 5, top 6 range kind of side. Really should have gotten the win over Port Adelaide if it was at Marvel. I definitely would have expected them to win convincingly. So it's a good test here. Really good test for St Kilda. Do they have it in them to beat Melbourne? Possibly. Really possibly, but I'm just going to keep on tipping the Demons until they lose. Genuinely, to be honest. They're on track. They won't be undefeated. They'll lose eventually, but at the moment, they have their players returning from COVID. Full strength side, pretty much. And yeah, they'll get the chocolates in this game. I think it will be a close battle. It has been the past few weeks for the Demons, but they just simply run away with it in the fourth quarter multiple times. And they'll win this game by 25 points. And for the final game of the round, we have Carlton hosting Adelaide at Marvel Stadium. Adelaide were obviously very poor last week, and you know, before the season, I definitely expected that Adelaide were a bottom 4 side. We can all agree that it was a bit of a purple patch these past few weeks. Very competitive they were playing, but they are a bottom 4 side in my eyes. Just, I don't feel they have enough talent to drive them to a consistent season. And I believe they'll, for a few weeks now, they will play some subpar football. And Carlton should be winning this game. Paddy Cripps, their midfield, key forwards have been excellent so far, been in some fine form, and they should win this game by a nice, healthy win of 30 points. So everybody, there were my tips for round 8. Hopefully you did enjoy. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you went on to enjoy today's video. Make sure to comment down below and tell me what you think of my tips. Feel free to comment down yours too. Love to hear your fellas' thoughts on what you reckon the results will be for round 8. But anyways, fellas, that is the end of today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later. See you later, fellas.